So today, as you can see, I'll be going over the Elder Gods. I've never really seen anyone do a really good video on this, or even any video on the Elder Gods, and they're a lot more powerful than people actually think. Right, there are actually a lot of Elder Gods, but there are certain ones who are common, and those are the ones we are going to go over, and maybe like two others. Yeah, and Khonshu is part of them. I was supposed to do this video Cult Master, but unfortunately he's not going to be part of the audio, but I will be covering his aspect of the video. Of course, he has his credits, and that's what I'm doing, giving it to him because it's really good, and he has better knowledge on the Elder Gods than I do. So yeah, and you will see for the most part when I get to his part. So let's start with the Demiurge. Right, so the Demiurge is very powerful, literally has been shown or spoken about not more than 10 times in the Marvel Universe. The Demiurge was born from Earth's rich biosphere, a planet with extreme power which can produce a being of incredible life force energy, in which portions of this energy was able to birth the other Elder Gods. But does this mean Demiurge is the most powerful? And the answer is blatantly no. His rivals to Gaia and as old as Cleito, even older than Cleito, there were infinite numbers of Elder Gods created, or let me say millions, but these ones stood out. We have Oshtur, Gaia, Chthon, and Seth. Right, Oshtur, Gaia, and Chthon would be addressed by Cult Master. Also, just go watch my Scarlet Witch video for full Chthon scaling, which was given to me by Cult Master. But the thing is that, in short, Demiurge is more powerful than the rest of the Elder Gods, except Gaia, Khonshu, and likely Chthon. And that's like almost like stretching it, because the Demiurge is really powerful. Demiurge is a being with power of creation itself, casually, which is eternity tier, placing him at boundless, and he was able to connect Earth to the cosmic axis, or the Yggdrasil. During the Young Avengers run, Wiccan, who is the son of the Scarlet Witch, an incredibly powerful guy who became an avatar for the Demiurge, was casually able to view eternity totally as a cosmic story. He was able to walk over it, and as he did that, he was creating the past and future at the same time. That is incredibly powerful. The Demiurge also created the Utopian Parallel, which is home to America's Chavez, and I do think you all should watch my video on her, which would be linked down below. That is a very impressive feat, because the Utopian transcends the local multiverse and also transcends the superflow. Beings of such, the Utopian are just women who can transcend across infinite realities, and Chavez can go to realms at the peak of creation to fight. These are like Themyscirans on steroids. Also, the Demiurge is responsible for the existence of Atom and the god pantheons, Odin and all that. Yeah, as powerful as Odin is, the All-Father, yeah, the Father archetype itself, he ranks even above literally everything. Like, the more you keep going, you see how high the other gods really go. So Odin's existence all because of the Demiurge. Right, the Demiurge is boundless and should scale very well above, scales way above True Form Eternity, and a lot of the outside cosmology. It scales even above Oblivion, but doesn't get to a certain extent the cosmology scale will be below the House of Ideas, I would say. But yeah, let's keep going. Next thing here is the Demiurge. I don't like pronouncing his name, but I'll call him the God Eater, or Atom. Atom is the second form, and Ra is same thing as Atom, but that was changed later on as the Marvel comics went on with the pantheons and stuff like that. Same person but different representations, right? So the God Eater is a byproduct of Atom, which I will go over next. The God Eater killed hordes of demon Elder Gods and absorbed their forms and energies. These Elder Gods are actually very powerful. Each and every casual Elder God can be easily scaled to the level of the outside. The Void of Oblivion in Gore, the God Butcher story, an offspring of an Elder God, could reside in the void playing with primordial life. Actually, why am I saying it like this? Because that so-called elder god, God is actually classified as Oblivion himself. But that's insane. Primordial life of the cosmos is a toy to a child of of one of the strongest elder god, which is Oblivion. Like I told you, there's so many elder gods. Even Oblivion is an elder god. Let it be known that this is actually referring to Oblivion. Like I said, Oblivion is a god who was actually lonely and empty. If you have read Iceman, then you know what I'm talking about. The term god in both Marvel and DC can mean so many things. Know that me comparing the elder gods of the universe to Oblivion and the actual first god made by Oblivion isn't wrong, in the sense that when you scale the first god to the likes of Odin and Thor, the elder gods who were made by Demiurge, which came from the earth, and the earth came from the sun, all make sense as Oblivion's tears builds the nine realms in the sense of creation myth, since we know it was Ymir, the first giant. That's basically eternity, and Oblivion has said so many times that eternity is creation and creation belongs to him, which is inherently a lie. Is all creation myth, right? Same thing happens in DC Comics. And in the Odin origins, we do know that Midgard existed before then. So yes, the other gods are older than Odin, but not by a long shot, because Odin himself is also an elder god alongside other ethereal beings. And this is, you need to pay attention, because this ethereal thing means that the forms of the elder gods created on earth were not their true forms, but their physical forms are still incredibly powerful. Like I'm saying, like other ethereal beings like the Phoenix Force, which you will get a glimpse of how powerful that is in the video to see how consistent everything is. And then you have the first host, and I'll be doing a Phoenix Force video, a well detailed one, but yeah, Couchmaster does cover a decent part of it. And then you have the first host of the Celestials, the other gods in which the God Eater took in weren't weak, but just weaker than the ones in this video. And the rest of the elder gods would have been eaten, but they all fled. This God Eater over time became fodder as other beings kept getting stronger. Same with the other elder gods and its alternate main host, Atom. Being such as the Hell Lords fear him, he casually beats them with no issue, and same with pantheons. Now, Atom's best feat isn't even things like beating gods, but later being known as Amon-Ra, and he is the sun, just like I will mention in the next segment concerning Gaia, the Demiurge being the different sides of the same coin. Ra is stated to want to dominate Gaia, and Gaia is the sum of all thoughts, matter, time, emotions, all myths, and she's infinite and saved by love itself. Now, is this really Gaia or is it Cleito? Gaia is an aspect of Cleito, and yes, it is Cleito he's referring to. And while the god who is a psychopath, he isn't evil, but he is no fallen angel. He is the father himself, above us and between us, dividing, and this also sounds very much like the divine creator. Ra is described to be one of the old ones, and I am sure he is likely older. Now, Ra may not seem impressive until I brief up on Khonshu. Now, as for Seth, right, I have very little to say, I guess. Seth, while taking a weaker form, was able to fight on equal grounds with Odin, though that was not true from Odin, but yeah, and wanted to destroy creation. Seth during the Serpent War had his body split in different battles, in which Odin deemed using the Odin sword, which represents Ragnarok, to stop him. But during the Serpent War, Seth came in a transcendent abstract form. Right, his existence is beyond abstraction. Abstraction can't be used to describe his existence, as the fate of everything was coming to an end, including gods. His existence caused the balance of reality to be trapped between life and death, reality and spirit, all powerful and most vulnerable, but one god was able to easily triumph. His existence of elder evil is a nightmare beyond total existence. Seth's existence in that Seth's existence is in the highest order, transcends the nightmare within the dreaming, and nightmare scales ridiculously high. I also had to do a video on nightmare, right? One of his least feats is having a serpent crown, which had power on the level of all things at once, which is peak high alto verso plus. Seth's true form, like the other elder gods, scale relatively to the collective unconscious as a whole, while is ridiculously high. As for Khonshu, during the Serpent War, Khonshu used future and past Earths to one-shot Seth, who was beyond abstraction. Khonshu is way more powerful than Mjolnir, and the god Tempest, as the hammer, is Uru of the first moon, which is a creation tier older than Kleto's non-true form, which is still ridiculously high. And as you keep watching this video, Khonshu scales above creation itself. Khonshu is a lot more powerful than Ra, and he is like an avatar for Kleto as well, because he represents a feminine concept of gods, while Ra represents the masculine, and both worship either Kleto and the divine creator, in which Khonshu won over Ra's belief. Watch my Mjolnir video to know how powerful that is. Khonshu is older than the old ones. Khonshu is as real as any story ever told, and his belief system is incredibly powerful that even Mark, a mortal, can exist on an idea of abstraction. It is important to know that the same way Mark's collective is able to solve half of the collective's issues of humanity in a day, which alone is incredible, because even Gaia works with the collective unconscious of humanity, as she has existed across different pantheons with different names, and also is a transcendent being. But all that is still part of Mark's collective unconscious dominate humanity, right? And this is impressive. Dominate humanity, and this is impressive because the collective unconscious for humanity is somewhat represented to dependent on Mark, and that's insane. And he solved half of the collective's issue in a day. And for every Mark means every Khonshu, and Mark's state of mind and being is completely abstract because of Khonshu. And abstract in the sense it is above limiting. This is above the collective, limiting mostly his three main personalities. And Khonshu also basically gives his avatar what he has. Most abstract beings, meaning Khonshu would be the collective for gods and abstracts as well, which shouldn't leave the elder gods out, since he is more real than any story Mark knows, and Mark knows a lot of things, especially with Stephen Grant, making Khonshu easily rivals or above every other elder god in this video, and his normal feats already scale above the Fashor casually. Now let's move on to her Ashtore, right? And she's really powerful as well. So just like I said before, right now we're moving to Culture Masters part of the video, and Culture Masters lets us to know that, of course, it should be understood that elder gods and gods in general appear in their ethereal forms, not their true forms, which I did mention earlier. Oshtur, being one of the few originating Vishantis, empowering Doctor Strange, threatens the cosmic balance and opening the door to the chaos of the primordial world which Shumagorath originates. The very realms which the Vishanti dwell are realm beyond the gulfs of space and space between worlds, their forms vanishing into the void which lies beyond the verges of reality, a distance so far that it starts to become unfathomable to humanity. The combined mystic energy of Agamotto, Hogarth, and Oshtur are more than multiple realities combined. Now, Agamotto was Earth's first Sorcerer Supreme. This is important to understand for a few reasons. Namely, the Ancient One was or is the Sorcerer Supreme. Agamotto was dubbed Earth's first Sorcerer Supreme, noted as creating the three eyes of Agamotto, as well as being the main contributor to the Book of Vishanti. The very idea of the Ancient One stems from Agamotto. And one is one with the Lords of Shambhala. Maya, Queen of Illusions, Kleto is the embodiment of such is illusion, the dream and the reality beyond it. Alright, the Shambhala's Lords see only reality. Apart from the illusion, they transcend it. Allegedly, before Earth was formed, the One above all dreamed the creation and thus spawned the falling stars, each an embodiment of one of its thoughts. On Earth, the Creator made a woman, Kleto aka Gaia, representing the nature of reality. Cleito spawned Adam Kadmon, the first man of lineage. Nevertheless, the essence, we are not born on earth, but in the nexus of all realities, a focal point uniting all dimensions and realm. Descendants of Kadmon serve a nexus guardian. Descendants of Kadmon served as nexus guardians. Their roles was the keepers of the dream, to ensure the existence of the dream, and a threat to them was the dream itself. Over time, the men of lineage became less concerned with this mission and lost themselves in the infinity of the dream of the Creator. Although the celestials were created to assure that the humans would again become the men of lineage and serve as Nexus guardians again, maintaining the balance of all that exists and becoming eternity itself. As the dream of time passed, men of lineage fell deeper into the illusion of the dream. More and more they began to forget who they were, what they were, their parts in the holy play, with the last man of lineage turning his face away from the stars, unable to see their glory, unable to see anything but the illusion. Men had dire consequences for all the infinite dream contained. Jean is connecting with the phoenix, saw that humanity's true destiny. Jean is connecting with the phoenix, saw humanity's true destiny, which is to be the destroyers of the universe and its savior, who will evolve to become eternity, the dream. Therefore, controlling the destiny of human race is the same as controlling the beginning and the end, controlling eternity itself, and it is the bemusing part of the cosmic tapestry that one thread can keep it whole or tear it asunder. The abstract entities accept the inevitable fate of the universe. It is the cyclical nature of the tapestry to weave its own end to a new beginning. That's why they create humans. Adam, as I said before, is the first man of lineage and thus is the first cosmos guardian. Agamotto descended to the primal mobile and claimed godhood, was even a formidable foe against Kadmon and was second alongside Adam. Tatsalis is the third, with his wife Elan Brandt, the mother of the dreamer, and her being in right to rule the dream alongside him as a representative of Cleito. So, as we can see, the Shambhalese lords are beyond the dream illusion, beyond the dream state of the divine creator, but not its true form. The creator is layered upon himself since he transcends the book of life, which contains his story and that of the fallen stars as well. Well, this applies obviously to anyone who view the dream as a dream. Also, this story includes strange, so should obviously include the lords of Shambhala as well. So the lords are layered as well. Oshtur created Agamotto, right? So which makes her incredibly powerful. Now, as for Gaia, there's a lot to consider when talking about the elder gods, especially Gaia. She's the most ancient primal elder god and existed and continues to exist as the eldest, most powerful elder gods context in their true form. But I think this may be tricky concerning the Demiurge in its true form is extremely old, like literally probably older than the first moon and creation itself, which would include the first firmament and oblivion. Talking about true form is far more complicated and will be touched on later. For now, I will describe her function within the cosmic wheel. First and foremost, like Chthon, Ashtore, and Seth, Gaia is an elder god, one of the four cornerstones of creation. When looked on even briefly, egocentric, exocentric, exocentric, and necromantic are all forms of creation, from the human unconsciousness, generating and furthermore representing the expression of the expansion of creation in its totality. Biocentrism, egocentric to ecocentric, representing the very foundation of creation being nature and the environment. Earth, ecocentric. Exocentric is an aspect of the former two, so to say. Despite it being an expression of the expansion of creation, it's claimed to be a holographic projection where there's no difference between the truthfulness between the world of the consciousness, concrete reality. All these expressions of creation come into fruition through Gaia, the true font of creation. When we look broadly at the philosophy addressed by Marvel, it is exactly a biocentrism that builds the world, from God creating Gaia and Adam Kadmon in the void, and there's consciousness generating all of reality. What a lot of people don't understand or simply fail to pick up on is that while it's subtly explained, Demiurge takes and uses material from religion, a key factor in understanding exactly how these characters function. For example, it's noted that Cleito birthed Adam Kadmon, the archetypal man. To further explain Adam Kadmon, who is the archetypal man, is the first man, the man of lineage. As time, the dream of time passed, the man of lineage fell deeper into illusion. We already got that whole part before. Jen is connecting with the Phoenix, so humanity's true destiny, which is to be the destroyers of the universe. We already got that before, right? So the abstract entities accept the inevitable fate of the universe. It is the cyclical nature of the tapestry to weave its own end to a new beginning. That's why they create the human race. Right, so humanity inexorably becomes the dreamer, and the dream simultaneously, hence the man of lineage. However, back to the religious side of things, it's clear that the Demiurge used Kabbalism as a primary source to write strange tales. From Cleito and Adam Kadmon spawned the great love and void that's the mind of the divine creator, the dreamer and the dream, and their consciousness generating and furthermore representing creation in its truest nature all makes sense. For example, Adam Kadmon being the archetypal man, the tree of life, which is a direct parallel to Kabbalism, which is the tree of life and a reflection of man in God's image, the archetypal man. Adam Kadmon's primordial thoughts generating creation, or Cleito, understood to be the Shekinah, rose up from her earthly form and merged with the temple in reference likely the earthly and supernal temples, and becoming one with all and her soul all throughout, which is exactly the same in Kabbalism, right? The Shekinah dwelling or settling. Other interpretations of the Shekinah represents the Shekinah as the wisdom goddess of the Kabbalah will be covered more extensively. Moses, according to the Mishkan, was to create a dwelling settling place for he as his presence would be shared. As previously explained, the supernal and earthly tabernacle are counterparts. However, they are more closely related as they are direct parallels. All earthly aspects are shared onto the supernal aspects, and as a result form the whole tabernacle, occupying both worlds. Metatron, gifted as the chief of chieftains, his authority that is the sustenance of man. Metatron is the head of the world of creation, the servant or body of the Shekinah. Metatron bears extreme likeness towards Yeshua. Metatron is compared to the likes of Joshua and to God. When the temple was erected, all worlds above and below experienced consummation, absolute completion. When the moon, the Shekinah, came to her fullness and was in full perfection. When Moses reared the tabernacle in the worlds below, the tabernacle above was reared upright, the tabernacle of the young man, the Metatron. Upon these the temple created upon the first erected, Moses was at the center of all worlds, Metatron, shedding radiance upon all things and giving light to all the spheres. The world was firmly established and all the supernatural casements were open to pour forth light. and all the worlds experience such joy as had never been known to them before, and celestial and terrestrial beings alike broke forth in song. And the song which they sang is the Song of Songs, or as we might render, Song of the Singers, of those musicians who chant to the Holy One, blessed be He. Additionally, there is to be considered two heavenly tabernacle and earthly tabernacle. The heavenly tabernacle, Metatron's tabernacle, belongs to Metatron. The high priest Michael serves with Metatron's tabernacle. The second tabernacle, the concealed higher tabernacle, not only is placed above Metatron, but Metatron serves within it, which is explained the exact same way in the main text of Kabbalism from the Songs of Life. Important to how does this play out on translated Marvel Cosmology. To understand this, it's important to realize that at the very least, the 10 Seraphirot are the tree of life. Adam Kadmon being the tree of life means at the very least Cleto scales to the far shore, seen as the tree of life realistically stretches as far. Now, Culture and I do not agree. I used to say that the wall tree, which is the same thing as the Yggdrasil, which is all these, and I did explain this in my Marvel Cosmology video about talking about like Keter and all that. As long as I'm concerned, the Yggdrasil does not scale to the far shore, but you can make a case for it through Kabbalism, and I did tell him that. The thing is, I will still stand my ground that it does not scale that far. If you want to get Cleto to the far shore, it's a lot easier to do so, even for my previous scaling, and even using Khonshu and the Terraforms relative to the Oblivion and the other gods, it's easily to the far shore. I already scaled them to the far shore long before even this. So the thing is, Marvel does use a lot of religious stuff. It just depends on how you use it. Before, I used to scale like this, but after I did the cosmology video, I didn't see any need like in my videos to be bringing up cosmology every time. But yeah, though this is a pretty good work, I have to say Culture Master is really good. But yeah, a lot of Marvel scalers, and I'm pretty sure I was the first person who started scaling the Yggdrasil to the far shore, but I stopped that a long time ago because I figured it really does not scale to the far shore. However, we see in Ultimate an avatar of the one above all, dubbed the true outside, contextually in this case as the one above all represents peak transcendence on every tier of cosmology. Why is this important to understand is because the antithesis to this would be the below place, the one above all as is directly shown. Right, the below place, the above place, two opposing yet equal forces in Marvel's cosmology, and the very least it stretches beyond, or is the mystery itself. Depends on the interpretation. The mystery as the true outside is the peak of the outside. Now, does this scale to the mystery? That's why I did say earlier that you can, is when you then use the one above all and the one below all, the Keter stuff, then you get it that high. But the thing is, I may also be wrong because Culture Master says I'm misinterpreting the tree of life with the Yggdrasil, meanwhile they're both basically the same thing. So I may have to recheck my scaling because he may not actually be wrong, and I do trust his information. But for someone who used to use the same argument and actually have debunked for it, says a lot more also, right? Now people misunderstand Marvel's cosmology when it comes to the outside, which is very true. Anything beyond eternity's influence is an outside, including a lot of could have shouldn't be, Oblivion, the far shore, the places, the white hot room, the mystery. Finally, the one above all being the peak of every tier means the outside. In the ultimate, we see is very clearly the peak of the outside, and hence the above place. When Oblivion embraces all, creation will renew itself, and the phoenix is the resurrection force that assured life from its death, a new beginning from the ashes of the old iterations of reality. Phoenix hosts can go to heal and wait for their time to rebirth. Energy of the cosmic being returns to the white hot room where it will await its rebirth. In the white hot room, there is the Mysterium Tremendum, the elemental cosmic heart, where all the innermost fires of creation lies. And Marvel's cosmology, basically, when I do the second cosmology video, people need to understand one thing. Everything you see in eternity is kind of the same way it is in the outside. Like the outside is transcendently, starkly layered. Marvel's cosmology is so big because there's a cosmic heart for eternity and there's a cosmic heart for the beings of the outside, right? It's crazy. But yeah, let's continue. The next place is a single moment that is all moments, all times, and is the moment where the wheel turns and the transgression of what lies beyond. The next place where the iterations of reality heal themselves, a place where everything lives, and which is beyond the far shore, where everything begins. Jane Foster throws Heimdall into the next place and is blinded by the light of creation and the mystery. The realm beyond the far shore is known by the names of outside, beyond, and the mystery. The white hot room is the above place, the mystery. Why is this important? The Keter, the crown atop. Why is this important? The Keter, the crown atop Adam Kadmon's head is the same as the Thamiel. The Keter is placed at the peak of the tree of life, while the shadow self of the Kabbalah is the Klipoth, the Thamiel being its peak. The Thamiel represents the below place, and the Keter at the top of the tree of life represents the above place. Obviously, Adam Kadmon being the Kabbalah and Klipoth itself means he scales and Plato herself scales higher, as not only did she birth him but predate him as well. Birthing and predating something does not inherently mean you're higher, but yeah, that works. This means that inherently Cleito scales above the remaining elder gods, Chthon, Seth, and Oshtur, but not so far, still not above Khonshu and likely even Ra. These elder gods represent the four worlds in relation to the four cornerstones of creation, and thus above them as they embodied by the tree of life and Adam and Cleito. Now, the other gods emerged from this plane as well. They were brought into existence mayhaps together alongside their sister Gaia, who has been called many things over the eons of her existence. Every pantheon of God that has ever lived has had its own name for her, and I did say that before. The ancient tabernacle from which Cleito's mortal form was buried when she rose up, freeing herself of physical constraints to become one with every living being and thing. And Gaia does exist on every plane of existence. This is shown in Journey into Mystery. The consciousness of the Holy Mother was in all places, all time, and all hearts. She claims that the great love God brought everything forth from the void into the world of forms. God creating the Mother Earth, Cleito, Gaia, whatsoever, because she has numberless names as the religions that still worship her, the mother of all things and the embodiment of illusion, the urge to be enfleshed. From her, the first man, the archetype man, and the dreamer and part of the dream. Only the flesh, Adam and Cleito were born in earth. The place where they truly were born was the focal point of the dream, where every universe, every parallel and intersecting fantasy came together, and the nexus of all realities. The primordial world was empty and formless, described as being composed of the Amatsu Mikoboshi, Izanagi, and Izanami, as an aspect of Gaia began to fill the world and create existence, ending the reign of Amatsu Mikoboshi. Albeit, there is a conflict about who came first, Gaia or the Demiurge. Both are the same entity, two different sides of the same coin. Basically, Yin Gaia and Yang Demiurge. Such an entity existed in the primordial nothingness, a hint that Demiurge is a manifestation of Adam. Alright. Therefore, do know that Demiurge creating the other gods, the biosphere, the ethereal forms. I already explained this was just the physical form, not the true forms. Right, Chthon claims that he's older than all myth of the celestials. The pantheon of the other gods ruled the cosmos before creation itself. Madame Hydra explained how she felt the Demiurge, the manifestation of the life force, shaped the universe and all the darkness Mikoboshi in it. The three names are, and which still helps with the thing I said about oblivion, is all creation myth, right? Something can create something as an aspect of something which is said to be created, but the main thing is understanding how these things play codependent to the cosmology and who transcends who, really, based on consistency and more feats. But there's a lot of creation myth that happens in all these cosmologies. You just gotta be wise about about it. These three names are the names of one single place, and this is a place that is nowhere, a plane of non-existence apart from eternity, and thus outside of the multiverse existed a location where all of reality, all of time, and all possibilities were one, and anything could happen. The land of Kurubi shouldn't be the beyond the far shore. During the House of M, when Wanda released the Chaos Wave, Cycloak and Rochelle were teleported to the White Hot Room beyond the range of the wave, which has reached the furthest reaches of imagination, from the sundered planes to the sublimity, and with time, the totality of everything. The realm was described as the heart of creation and of the Phoenix. The White Hot Room is described as the core of creation and the heart of the Phoenix. The White Hot Room, the core of creation, all time and no time. The White Hot Room is a dimensionally transcendental space of some sort, the endless nothingness. The White Hot Room, heart of the Phoenix, and the Phoenix claims that she is the embodiment of eternity. Over time, the concept of the White Hot Room has developed from Phoenix hosts being regenerated to the cosmic beings, and until recently the multiversal incarnation of eternity. The room is for cosmic renewal, where entities go to recreate themselves due to the innermost fire of creation. The next place serves not only as an afterlife for abstract beings, but also for gods, as in the recent events of Valkyrie, where Jane Foster takes Heimdall to the afterlife beyond the multiverse, declared as the Marvel Multiverse Afterlife, which is the far shore. The nexus of all realities is from where all things emanate. Every universe, dimension, dream space, dream layer, and dream itself is the point from which all things originate. The point where each random thought, each vast universe intersects, where time and space, imagination, and dream collide. The Mythic crystal was in the beginning of creation, and he will be there in the end. The nexus of all realities from which Cleito sprang alongside with Cadmon. The Panopticon is a crystal palace, as the nexus of all realities, often considered to be within the Mythic crystal, though it is in fact apart from and outside all other realities. Actually, it's funny how all these things here, I've said them like probably 2 years ago when I was talking about Marvel, except from like the new things that came out like last year and all that yada yada 2020. Still relatively the same time. It's an observatory made to oversee different realities. The Panopticon, or what, I don't even know how to pronounce that thing properly. It is an observatory outside of time and space that is surrounded by nothingness. It's located outside time and space, somewhere between the realm of what is and what might be, of reality and dream, lies the Crystal Palace. Each star represents entire dimensions, a representation of the entire universe, a view of the whole of creation. Cleito has gone on for way too long. He gave a lot of things on Phoenix Force. I don't think they were necessary, but it still set the foundation to really show how high Gaia can get. But he went deep into Cleito, which Cleito necessarily isn't an elder god, but transcends such. But yeah, so in conclusion, the other gods all scale above the true forms of the abstracts, including Oblivion. They scale above the below place, and the above place. They scale relative to the collective, especially Khonshu, and they are in the inaccessible layers into boundless. They literally scale around the mystery, which you can argue is relative to the house of ideas, which is the Phoenix level, right? The other gods are really that powerful. Yeah. But yeah, as long as I'm concerned, Khonshu still ranks above. Maybe you can argue the other gods are below the mystery, but yeah, I think Coach Master's entire thing is that Cleito and Cadmon transcend the mystery, or like embody it, or like the peak of such. But yeah, they're really powerful. Coach Master really did a great job on these. Yeah, he's really good. Truth be told, like he's really good. The proper, he should be better than proper, or relative to proper, honestly speaking. So yeah, if you found this video informative, please hit like, share, comment, subscribe. I know it was a very long video. I got tired even recording it. Well, see you all next time. Peace.